Folks, hey, great day to be a Bulldog, right? So excited that we're moving in this space. First and foremost, thank you all so much for coming out and supporting us. This is truly a great day for Fresno State and a great day for Fresno State volleyball. And the reason why I say that is, of course, is we are welcoming a new leader, right? A new person to kind of take us to new heights. Before I begin, though, in introducing our coach, debt of thanks to our community for your undying support. You've been great. Our alumni, phenomenal. I see some here right now, which so appreciate. To our leadership in administration, Carrie Cole, thank you so much, Carrie, for leading the way for us. Our faculty, I see faculty here, thank you so much for allowing us to serve this community. And as always, our students. We do what we do for our students. Our students are the most precious resource that we have here, and we will continue to serve them. So with that, without further ado, of course, let's talk about Coach Rosen. You know, it's really heartfelt and it really feels good when you talk to trusted leaders of an industry and they say, you're going down the right path. We have a great history here of volleyball and success in volleyball, and I think all of us recognize that. But when a Hall of Famer speaks to you, you kind of listen. So when I called Ruth Lewanson, and she talks to me about what volleyball means here, and more importantly, hey, Terry, you did a good job. You got the right person here. I think that kind of means I did okay. I feel pretty good about that. We're bringing in a leader who has over 20 years of experience at a Power 5 institution that we all know as Michigan. We're bringing in a person who has lived an entire life of volleyball excellence wherever she's been. We're also bringing in a person who I think truly cares about the student athlete and cares about the experience of our student athletes and their growth beyond the court. That to me is what I call a great Bulldog. That is what I call a leader in our athletic department, and that is what I call Coach Leisa Rosen. So without further ado, you don't want to hear from the athletic director. Let's hear from our new leader of volleyball, Coach Leisa Rosen. This is such an uncommon ball for me. I'm just going to tell you, I'm so terrible. I have no... Thank you so much. So proud to have you with us, and I'm going to give you that as a token.
Why, thank you. I appreciate
so much. Coach Rosen.
Thank you, everyone. I certainly appreciate the introduction. My goal is to earn the respect and to earn the trust of everybody in this room. And the people that aren't in this room too. The student athletes are the very most important part of the success of any program. And I had the opportunity this morning to kind of do an official team meeting with them. But the thing that I was the most impressed with, and I shared this with them this morning, was that each one of them reached out to me prior to us having an official team meeting, and so I was able to meet all of them before we actually had a meeting. And that was, to me, that just shows the kind of the character and the commitment that they have to the program and that they want to be great. We all could have walked into a meeting this morning for the first time seeing each other, and it would have been super awkward. And super uncomfortable. And it was a little bit uncomfortable because I think change is hard. Change is uncomfortable for everybody, but I also think change is super exciting. And so I was really very appreciative that they took time out of their schedules this past week to come in and meet with me and to meet with our staff. We're gradually working on getting the staff together, but that really showed me that, just again, how much commitment and how much care they have for the program. And so this is something that I'm super excited about. I have no, I don't really have any other words except for the fact that I can't wait to get started. And today kind of makes it official with you guys, but then it also made it official with the team. And we will start training, and we're going to train hard. We talked about that this morning with them, as we're going to train hard, but we're also going to enjoy what we do. We're not going to be perfect. That's not the expectation, but our expectation is to be great. And it's going to take time build the foundation of that, but that's our expectation is we want to be great in the community, we want to be great in the classroom, and we want to be great on the floor. That's a huge piece to the puzzle of us being just very, very, very successful here. I don't know what else.
No, you did a great job. You were awesome, Coach.
We'll open it up to questions from our media, and just raise your hand for who wants to start. Bring it over to you.
And before questions, I would like to thank, I see some other coaches in the audience that are out supporting Coach Rosen and Coach Leisa, and that means a lot. I think it's very important when you have not only the support of administration, but other athletic leaders here supporting our new coach, and that just shows that you're walking into a family that looks for you to be successful.
Yeah, and I think that leads into, throughout the whole interview process and everything, every time I've been on either a Zoom call, which we all know Zoom calls are here to stay, whether we like them or not, I think that it's a good use. But then when I was here in person, everybody that I became familiar with or that I was in front of just has so much passion for the Valley and so much passion for Fresno State. I really would like to extend a thank you to Carrie and to Terry as well. The search committee was unbelievable getting to know each other, but then also all of the different people that I met throughout the athletic department. And my time here was very fast. The interview process was very efficient, and I appreciate that. But everybody I met with was just very passionate about Fresno State volleyball, Fresno State athletics being great. And again, that was probably the biggest positive or indicator to me that this was a phenomenal place for me to be a head coach. And I couldn't be any more excited about that.
We'll go to Vanessa.
You kind of mentioned it right now, but you've been with Michigan for so long. So what was it about Fresno State that really attracted you to come and be here?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was the people. I looked at it from the lens of being recruited, because that's how we have to look at it as far as bringing players in here. And I think that the people were the biggest thing, and just the people, and not just that, but the commitment they have to, again, bringing this program to the height of what it can do. I think that the Mountain West is a great conference for us to be able to make some significant strides in. And I don't know how fast it will be, but I can guarantee you that we will be a contender in the conference at some point. I won't make a promise, but we will be competitive in this conference, and then that will put us on a national scale.
Your coaching style?
I think that's a great question. I believe that I'm very passionate, and I also believe that I'm very persistent, and I believe that I'm patient. The patience has come, that's not easy, because I think we want results immediate, but I don't think that, you don't get results immediate. I'm very passionate because this has been a lifelong, a lifelong career for me. I started volleyball at an early age, not as early as everyone starts now, but I started volleyball at a very early age, and I was fortunate enough to play for some unbelievable coaches that really, that poured themselves into me, and that really made me want to give back to the sport. I absolutely love competition. I love it. Whether it's a win or loss, obviously I like winning a lot more than losing, but I love competition because I think that it brings out, if you embrace it, it brings out the best in you. It doesn't mean that you're always successful, but it brings out the best in you. And there's so many life lessons that can be learned through competition. So passion, that's what I'm about. Persistent, I mean, if you don't get the results that you want, you need to keep going at it, and maybe going at it in a different way. And patience is definitely something that I have learned. And I think that comes from being a mom. I had the opportunity, I have two boys that are now in either graduating from college or starting their collegiate experience. And let me tell you, being a mom is, you have to be patient because it doesn't always happen exactly how you want it to happen. And I think it's been amazing that I had two boys because I'm surrounded by girls on a daily basis. And so it gives me perspectives on both boys and girls. But I think that, patience has been, I will be patient, but I also will be very, very persistent.
Stephen Hicks?
Hey, Coach, I couldn't help but notice on your bio, you have ties to the Central Valley, so I'm just curious what it's like to be back here in the Valley and maybe your impressions of Fresno State and this region as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, who knew that 20-some, 30-some years ago, I would be in Bakersfield, California. I lived there for a year. I was fortunate enough to get married there, so I saw the best of that. But now, now Fresno is going to be home, and I'm excited about that. I think that I really like this area from doing research and being here for a week, though I've been guaranteed that the sun does shine. I'm not sure. Not sure that it does, but I'm told it does.
Wait till June.
I know.
You will feel every piece of the sun.
Yeah. And I couldn't be more excited about being in this region. I think that I think it's very rich in volleyball tradition. I think it's very rich in community traditions. It sounds like I'm learning stuff as I go, but it sounds like the Red Wave is very passionate about their sports here in Fresno, and so I'm excited to be able to learn that. I also think that change is scary, but change is also exciting. And so this is a change. It's going back to, I'm from Alaska originally, and my parents still live up there. My brother still lives up there. So I'm actually 3 time zones closer, which they're very appreciative of. So I feel like I'm moving a little bit more back home because I'm from, because my parents are from Alaska. I grew up there. And granted, I know that the climates are significantly different, but I'm a little bit more, just West Coast familiar.
Sure.
Scott, Coach, congratulations.
Thank
Scott
you.
Bemis here with KC24, CBS 47 here in the Valley. Just curious, you're talking about change.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think needs to change, maybe with the program, or maybe just what needs to improve in order to take that next step, and be competitive in the Mountain West year in and year out?
Yeah, and I don't know if I can answer that exactly because I haven't had an opportunity to get into the gym yet. Again, we've had meetings with the girls. We've got to know their personalities a little bit. It sounds like they're a very outgoing group. They were very quiet this morning, which is, again, very typical. Watched video too, but I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about is there's a style of volleyball, there's a style of training, there's a style that I feel very strongly about in a way to play the game. And so I think that is hopefully when the community comes out to see us play, they're going to see a team that works incredibly hard, that's very, very gritty, that gets after it. They're going to see a team that cares about each other, that is very selfless, that celebrates for each other's successes as well as their own successes. And I hope that you will see a team that's very passionate about what they do. I think passion and competition go hand in hand. And so I think that I would like for us to be very competitive. And again, competition at times means W's, and that's certainly the end product. But I think that there's going to be a learning curve for us to be at the top of where we want to be. And I'm really excited about that adventure. I've used the word challenge a lot in this past December and January. This is very challenging, and I think that this is going to be a challenge, but I love challenges. So I love the sport of volleyball, and I love teaching and bringing out the competitiveness in athletes. I have the opportunity to coach female athletes, but I don't just think it's female, I think it's athletes in general.
And then I'm just curious, California obviously over the years been a hotbed
Yeah.
for volleyball, and You know, it feels like volleyball at the high school level, the junior college level here in the Central Valley is kind of on the upswing. They've got some beach volleyball programs that are coming about. I'm just curious from your perspective, you know, having been at Michigan in the Midwest, when you looked at the Fresno State, you know, situation, or, you know, maybe not that specifically, but is this an opportunity, you know, a school on the West Coast like this that maybe in the back of your mind you thought, oh, if something like that opened, that would be an opportunity that I think, you know, I could have success at a place like that?
Oh, I think there's no question that you can have success here. You know, I've looked at the history. Obviously, there's very, very good players that have come through this program. And so I think the opportunity for success is very, very high. I mean, a little bit of it's going to be, you know, based on what we do in the gym. It's going to be based on how we recruit. You know, I think that the recruiting base in this area is very strong. It'll be a new base for us because we have much more, you know, my associate head coach and I have a lot more Midwest ties, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to learn this area very quickly. We're not allowed to go off campus right now, but I can tell you as soon as we can go off campus, we're going to be visiting all of the different club areas in this program. But I think that, you know, we do have West Coast ties. They're not as strong, but that's definitely going to be an area for us to, you know, to make sure that we're reaching out, because I want the Fresno State program to be very reminiscent of what Fresno is about. And it from what I have heard and what I've seen, it's about hard work. It's about getting after it, and then again, it'll go back to about being passionate about what you do.
Other questions from the floor?
I'm going to throw one more at you, just I'm curious. When you got here, or when you visited perhaps, or maybe I know it's real all new still at this point, but is there something that jumped out at you about Fresno State, or this volleyball program, or maybe the venue that they play in, or something that you're like, wow, you know, I didn't even realize that, you know, we had this opportunity here, or that I could sell this about this program?
Well, and I think it's very funny that you say we, because as soon as I got here, you know, I Carrie did an amazing job of putting a whirlwind kind of interview tour together, and she brought me to Save Mart, was the very first place she brought me, and this place is impressive. The ability to grow the fan base and to grow the enthusiasm of the program. I mean, it's limitless in that respect. And so I think that shows a huge, just the different facilities that I was able to tour around, the practice facilities, the office, but the competitive facilities, that shows that there's a high commitment to Fresno State being very competitive. You know, and I think that's something, whether we like it or not, that's what recruits are looking at is, you know, what can you do for me as far as those things are concerned. And I think it shapes up. I have not seen all of the facilities in the Mountain West, but I can't imagine that there's ones that have more potential than what this does.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you want to introduce your staff?
Oh, yeah, that might be good.
I would. So I had the opportunity to keep Ashlyn. She will be our director of ops. She's been an amazing, I think that she's put me in front of more people than I've ever been in front of in my entire life. In a 2-day period, but I really appreciate that. My associate head coach is Jerome Frace. He was with me at Michigan for 5 years. And he is making the move out with me to be my associate head coach, recruiting coordinator. Orlando Catalan, he is. I'm putting him on the spot right now. Trying to get him as my assistant coach, and then we'll finish up the staff. And then obviously out here visiting with me and trying to help me get acclimated is my husband, Mark. He's someone that we have worked very closely together for a lot of years, and so we're trying to figure out the life part of that, but I appreciate him being out here. Unfortunately, Brady and Cameron, who are my two sons, they're busy with, not unfortunately, they're very busy with their own lives, and so they weren't able to make it out, but they will. They're dying to come out.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You know, before we conclude, once again, I want to thank you as a community for coming out and supporting us. It means so much. When Bemis asked a good question, you know, what can we do better? What we can do better is show you the greatness of Fresno State and get more people involved in supporting not only this great coach, but the great student athletes that we have here. So we're going to do a better job of that at Fresno State. And for me, and Annie works with me on the advisory. Annie, I thank you. Brian, I thank you. And you know, we have a lot of people in our community that supports us. And I just think that we should really celebrate that. Diane is a great trusted friend and does a great job in keeping us moving in the right direction. So we all, as a community, are going to show this nation what Fresno State's all about. So thank you for that.